Hi there, and welcome to the March 17th episode of Canadian Profits TV. My name's Dave Dubeau. I'm the publisher of the program. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. As we're filming this right now, we're still in the midst of the tragedy that's going on in Japan right now with the earthquake and the tsunami, which is absolutely mind-boggling. Heart goes out to everyone in Japan. Anyone who's watching this who has friends or family, people they know in Japan, our heartfelt best wishes to you and to your folks there. Anyhow, moving on to this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV. We're going to do a little bit of a change up here on what we're going to be talking about because I just recently got back from our 2011 Diamond Getaway down in Scottsdale, Arizona. Learned some great stuff from Ken McElroy, Ross McAllister from MC Companies, also from our tour of the Rich Dad offices. And I want to share a few of the things that we learned there with you on Canadian Profits TV. So this week we're going to be talking about in our business breakthroughs something I learned at Rich Dad offices about controlling overhead, our real estate tips. We're going to be talking about the amazing guarantees that Ken McElroy and MC Companies have for their tenants, which we can definitely learn from if you're into real estate investing. And for our Mindset Minute, another lesson picked up from Ken McElroy, reinforced from Ken McElroy, about the power of generosity. So stay tuned, and stay tuned for the end of the episode as well, because we're going to have kind of a fun new little jingle that we had done for Canadian Profits TV that we've paired up with a very poor breakdancing routine from some guys, God knows where they're from. So anyhow, it's kind of fun to watch, so be on the watch for that. Okay, on today's business breakthroughs, what I want to talk about is something that I learned at the Rich Dad offices in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I don't know about you, but if you're kind of a Rich Dad fan, you've got an image of what you think the Rich Dad offices are going to be like. Because again, this is a big company. Robert Kiyosaki's into doing some major business deals. His books have sold over 33 million copies worldwide. So it's a very successful business. But what really impressed me was when we went to visit their offices in Scottsdale, they're in just very modest offices. Nothing spectacular. You look at it from the outside, it's just a very plain two-story building. His offices take up a part of it. We went and toured around. The inside of the offices are very nice, but nothing lavish. So what impressed me is the fact that in spite of the fact that this is a big company doing major revenues, they keep their overhead under control. They're not worried about the image of their offices so much. They want them to be comfortable and useful and very practical, but they understand that they're not in the business of having tons of people come to see them. So they aren't worried about what their offices look like. Same thing with MC Companies. We went and visited their offices, and again, huge company. I think they own and control over 8,000 properties, if I'm not mistaken, and they've got multiple offices all over the place. But the main headquarters in Scottsdale, again, very modest offices, and they work hard at controlling their overhead. And one thing that Ken McElroy mentioned to us about this is they don't want to look like they're wasting money when they're showing things to potential investors. So when investors come to their offices, they see that they're neat and tidy and conservative, but not extravagant, so they're not worried about their money being squandered on unnecessary things. I think Rich Dad has the same idea as well. So big lesson there is control your overhead. Sometimes we let our ego get into play, and I've seen a lot of small companies that have very lavish offices way beyond what they need or what they really should have. So don't make that mistake. Make sure you control your overhead, keep your offices practical, what you need, neat and tidy, but don't go overboard. That's your business breakthrough for this week. All right, and this week for our real estate tips, I want to share with you a big marketing kind of lesson that I learned from Ken McElroy and MC Companies when we were down there in Scottsdale. And that is their good life guarantee. So again, you've got to remember that Ken McElroy and his partner Ross McAllister own and control thousands and thousands of apartment units. So apartment buildings, typically with 150 to 250 units per building. That's what their business is. So they're experts when it comes to dealing with tenants, and marketing their properties. So right now, down in the States, there's quite a bit of competition to get tenants on board for rental properties because there's a lot of people losing their homes and going into the rental market. So the competition is fierce. And what Ken has done, one of the things that they've done across all of their properties is institute this good life promise or the good life guarantee. So they actually have 4 things that they guarantee, which gives them a phenomenal edge on the competition, on the other apartment buildings that are out there. So the first one is, that really impressed me, is 24-hour service promise. So a lot of tenants, when they're renting a place, one of the main frustrations is if something goes wrong, it just takes too long for the landlord to fix it. So they overcome that possible objection with this guarantee. And the way it works is that they say that they will respond to your non-emergency service requests within 24 hours or we'll pay you. And the way that works is if they don't respond to your service request within 24 hours, they will credit you 1 day's rent for every extra day it takes to fix your problem. So if it takes them 3 days past the 24 hours to fix whatever the tenant complained about, that tenant gets 3 days free rent credited to them the next month on their rental bill. So that's a phenomenal guarantee right there. The next one is their 30-day good life promise. So a lot of people, when they're getting involved in a lease or a rental with a big company like MC Companies, they're nervous about the length of the lease. So this is kind of an escape clause for these folks, which says they can, in essence, break their lease within the first 30 days if they're not satisfied with their apartment for any reason. So they've got kind of a risk-free guarantee. They can jump in there, sign on the lease for however long they want to, and if for whatever reason they don't like the apartment in the 30 days, they can either break the lease or they'll get them moved into a different apartment that they like more. So another phenomenal guarantee there. Next one is late rent relief. So sometimes people have challenges paying rent on time, and they basically have 1 free get-out-of-jail card for folks that are renting with them. So if they're going to have a challenge making their rent 1 month, they can use this and they get an extension on their month without any penalties or fines or eviction notices or anything like that. They can do that once. So that's another guarantee that they have in there. And a very, very cool one, especially considering the situation in the States right now, they have what's called a life interruption guarantee. So if the person loses their job, has a major financial catastrophe, one of the spouses loses their jobs, or if there are students with roommates and one roommate leaves or something like that, they've basically got a little insurance policy there that will help cover their rent for up to 2 months if it's some sort of a non-job loss type thing. And then they also have a job loss one where I think they'll cover all of the rent for 2 or 3 months while the person's looking for another job. So those are 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 guarantees that Ken McElroy and his group have figured out as a way of attracting more and better tenants to their apartment buildings. And from what he was telling us, it works like gangbusters. So that's your real estate tip for this week. All right, this week's Mindset Minute is another lesson that has been picked up, or better said, reinforced by a visit down to Scottsdale. Ken was very, very generous. He invited the whole gang of us, almost 40 people, to his private club on a very, very exclusive golf course in Scottsdale. Took us all in there, and basically we had the run of the place, and he invited us to dinner and to drinks. Absolutely no charge, not looking for anything, not pitching anything, not doing anything like that. And it just reminded me again of the value of generosity, because I don't think he was doing that with that in mind, but it's amazing how far that goes. So here I am talking to thousands of people about how great Ken McElroy is, how generous he is. He wasn't expecting that, I know that. But we also have 40 other people coming back and talking about what a great time they had, how wonderful MC Companies is, all that kind of stuff. And all of that just ties into how this gentleman does business and how generous he is financially as well as with his time. So again, another good reinforcement to me about the importance of generosity. And generosity pays huge dividends, maybe not right now, but in the long run. And the good fairies of karma will come and benefit you greatly. So always be generous as much as you can be. That's your Mindset Minute this week. All right, thank you very much for watching this week's episode, our St. Patrick's Day episode. Just want to let you know what's going to be coming up next week. So in our business breakthrough, going to be talking about, again, another lesson from Rich Dad and the importance of symbols in our businesses. For our real estate tips, we're going to be talking again a little bit about Ken McElroy, MC Companies, and how they maximize revenues in their business, which was absolutely phenomenal. For our Mindset Minute, we're going to be talking about the power of relationships. Again, another thing that was reinforced and that I learned from Ken McElroy on this recent trip. So thanks again very much for watching. Just want to remind you, something new that we're going to be doing with Canadian Profits TV is answering your questions. So I want to invite you to send in any questions that you might have about business, real estate investing, or mindset stuff. And if I answer your question on the show, I'm going to give you a free gift. It's a surprise gift, but you'll really, really like it. I'm sure you will. Also, I want to thank everybody for all the great comments that you leave. I love it when you put in your comments about what you like about the show or any feedback that you'd like to see done differently with the show. So again, if you'd like to leave some comments, you can do that below. If you'd like to submit a question, you can just email it to marketing@canadianprofits.ca and put in the subject line Canadian Profits TV question. That way my helper Derek can find out exactly what it is and get that question to me right away. So this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV has been brought to you by a replay of the webinar I did recently with Ken Beaton, which was how to make your first or your next $100,000 in real estate investing. You can watch the replay at CanadianProfitsTraining.com to watch the replay of the original webinar and to see all of those other bonuses as well, and to find out more about Canadian Profits Real Estate Peak Performers. Our new group's going to be starting up in the middle of April. You're welcome to check that out. If you're serious about getting involved in real estate investing, becoming a professional real estate investor, I highly recommend this course. You can't go wrong, especially with the guarantee. All right, have a good week. Enjoy the following little video, fun little video thing, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
CanadianProfit.ca, your one source for Canadianized information, education, inspiration, webinars, teleclasses, and so much more. If you invest in real estate or own a business, you're at the right place. CanadianProfits.ca, CanadianProfits.ca, for Canadians just like you. CanadianProfits.ca. Not already a member? Take a test drive and get a free book. Just click on one of the banners to the right of the video. You'll be glad you did. CanadianProfits.ca, for Canadians just like you. CanadianProfits.ca.